Guys, have you watched this video? Many of you have not seen this video. Now, the PDP Publicity Secretary in Abia State have gone to Arise TV. This time around, I don't know if we can say he went to expose what is happening in Abia, or he went to share his view, or based on political assumption, whatever. But whatever the case may be, the PDP spokesman, that the PDP Publicity Secretary have gone to Arise TV to hit on the same 54 billion naira. Just watch this video. For me, I don't have anything to say. Just watch this video, drop a comment, and let us watch this video together, and let's get your reaction. Please, we value your comments. Comment and tell us what you think about the 54 billion naira for 51 schools. Let's know what you think about this video. My name is Wakam Makasine. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
54 billion naira to renovate 51 schools and the rest, and you say the opposition is not happy.
It's mind-blowing.
What is wrong with that?
It's mind-blowing. Just like the governor just said that it wasn't 54 billion that they used, that he used 2.6 billion to renovate schools in 2014. But this is ZEP governor that said that his 2024 budget performed 90%. In fact, he said it was the best budget performance ever. Now, if he had budgeted 20% for education and he spent only 2.6 billion for renovation of schools, and then the total budget for that year is 550 billion. Don't you see something is right there? Now, the budget performance is not an estimation. It is the budget performance. You have made the estimation. Now, it is a CEFTAS by World Bank that states key into. Once you do they have a standard template, okay? So once you get money, revenue, income, and expenditure, so it's like Naira and Kobo. You receive 1 Naira, you put it there, you expend it, you put it there. So in that particular column, under expenditure, you see that is showing on the screen. You see that under public renovation of schools, the total estimation was about 64 billion. Now, in the performance, Q4 2024, the governor spent 54.666 billion naira in renovation of schools. And we are asking, if you say you have paid that upfront, because that is what has been paid already. Now, if you check the next column, which is the Q1 and Q4, you see that they have added 4 billion that was spent in Q1, and then 54 billion that was spent in Q4, making it 58 billion. So we are asking, where are the schools in Abia State? See, we have looked through the performance quarterly as they come. You see very fictitious expenditure. 6.5 billion recreational facility, 10 billion for ICT. And we're asking, where are these things? So if we don't ask this thing keep coming up every day, and you attack the personality of people who ask you basic questions, where are these schools? The governor, through his spokesman, told us that he has paid upfront the 54 billion
to contractors.
And we asked, which benchmark, where has it happened? That we know that normal contractor agreement is to pay based on milestones achieved, okay? So you paid upfront since 2024, and this is almost 1 year. And we're asking, where are the schools? Now, they showed us some basic schools. They say this, they spent the 54 billion on. Very old building.
No, the government was very categorical. They've renovated 51 schools. But some, you see, the ruling party there will be saying, you were in power since 1999. You've just left power for 2 years and the rest. And why you being, an interloper in the development being brought by this government?
No, because we lost the election doesn't make us lose the moral ground to ask questions. See, because of the removal of subsidy, there's quantum of allocation that comes to these governors, and we are asking, we have the moral right as citizens to ask questions. Please, you have received 54 billion for this, you have spent it. Where are the schools? Because we lost the election, we cannot ask questions, and the governor has failed to show us where these schools are.
But don't forget that those schools were inherited from the PDP government.
But you have spent
renovation.
You have spent 54 billion in renovating them. Yes. Can we see the schools? Now, what they claimed, there is this idea that is innovation, development, effectiveness in the acquisition skills. That's the federal government World Bank program. They did 4 technical schools in Abia: the BCT Aba, Afra Technical, Omaha, and Ohafia Technical. The governor claimed that it is part of the 54 billion. No, it is not. Now, in Abia Police he's talking about, it is tech fund that is doing some projects there. It is different from this one we are talking about, for Christ's sake. These are monies from FAC allocations. So we ask the question, if yes, PDP lost the election, but you have received this thing on behalf of the Abia people, which I'm a member of PDP, and I'm still entitled to that money. I'm a taxpayer in Abia. And I ask this question, where are the schools? Now, you claim 6.5 billion for educational facility. Do you know that this particular government, through the budget performance report, claimed that they have paid 17 billion to civil servants, to pensioners? We found out that they were forced to forfeit their entitlement. And when you ask questions, he will tell you he didn't inherit
How
it.
possible is that?
It is happening in Abia State. I am saying this on national TV, and I let them quote me. The governor came to say that they have cleared 9 years pension arrears, whereas the fact is they were forced to sign some forfeiture. Can you ask somebody to? My mom, when she was alive, was a pensioner, and she never asked any person to forfeit for them. So you say you met the executive and tricked them. Today, the matter is raged. They are still in court with that. So, and if you look at the performance report, he has spent 17 billion. So we ask this question, that we have lost the election doesn't stop us from asking very pertinent question. This money you receive it. See, we expected fourfold performance. If the removal of subsidy has increased the revenue, we should see them. Is it only in Abia State?
I thought the Abia people are happy with the infrastructural revolution that Governor Otti
There's nothing happening in Abia. There is this comedian, they call Governor Amuneke. He will do the edit and show you the real thing that happens. That's what's happening in Abia State. We don't believe that when the governor invited the president to come and commission a road, it was just a single project. If he has done so much as you hear on social media, he has dominated, he has bought the social media, which is different from the reality on the ground. So if he has so much infrastructure to show, why will it be just one Port Harcourt road that has cost Abia State 6 billion per kilometer? 6 billion. The governor came out and told the world that he spent 36.5 billion to do a 6-kilometer road.
There's no doubt.
That is crazy.
Eric,
so that is what we are here for.
Sorry, mind your language. Eric Ikwagu, there's no doubt that you got so much, to say concerning your state, but thanks very much for...
Okay, one of the things he really highlighted, number one, is the both education center, blah, blah, blah. But the major thing is this, what people are really talking about is the 54 billion naira. It's true that the governor has been able to clear the air a little bit, but people are not yet completely cleared because of this is a budget performance where you claim that so amount of money was spent, and when people are started asking questions, now the story have actually changed. But all things being equal, the PDP publicity secretary, he made a comment I want to talk about. He said, is it because they lost election? Is that the reason why they shouldn't not really ask questions in terms of accountability of the government of the day? So, because they lost the election in 2023, is that the reason why we say when they raise a point regarding to accountability of the present government, is that the reason why we say no, we shouldn't ask questions? Is that the reason why we say no, we should not really actually verify? We should not really cross-check or really confirm what the government is talking about? So recent time right now, what I've been trending right now is the 54 billion naira, and a lot of the smart schools and the structures of the schools. People really want to see a kind of a mighty structures. People are not really that comfortable with what we are seeing to compare with the huge amount of money allocated to that particular sector. So if you allocated the 54 billion naira and you just use only 21 billion naira, so where is the remaining money? Apart from where is the remaining money? People felt, especially the other side of the people, they felt like the government is not really saying the truth. And there are a lot of press statement upon press statements. Even today, there was also a press statement right now where the government is claiming that over 20 schools are actually being renovated and contracts were awarded to a particular contractor, and the contract was not up to 7 billion naira. But they didn't end up telling people categorically this is the exact amount of money that was spent. That was one thing they failed to do in their press statement. Then they did not really ask people. They did not really respond to say, yes, there was an allegation that 7 billion naira was spent, and another trending reaction and by another set of people. But they later they tried to clear the air in a press statement, but they did not really categorically stated this is the exact amount of money that was spent. Not 7 billion, it's this amount of money. But I think if for generally, for me personally, I think the governor is really doing well in terms of rebranding the state, in terms of road construction, in terms of providing a basic social amenity. But I think that one of the areas the government is personally, to me, my personal opinion, is one of the area I think the government is lacking or have failed to really prove is the area of transparency. People, especially the learned people, not people in the streets, the learned people are trying to see the transparency, the total transparency in terms of the government expenditures, in terms of how the government really, do their transactions of the day. Although I know that United States, due to the backwardness, there's some backwardness, due to the fact that other 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 leaders, other governors that have come in terms of the previous administration, they have not been they have not really done so well. They have not really done so well. So that alone is what is psychologically affecting an average Aba man, affecting an average Abia man. That is one of the things I personally think is psychologically affecting most people who are actually based or live in Abia State, because most of us are used to bad roads. We are used to seeing whenever it rains that roads are going to be flooded. We are used to carrying slippers in our bag whenever we are going out with our shoes. So we are used to a lot of irregularities. We are used to even not having lights. We are used to if any government is coming and they are doing some basic work. We are seeing road they're actually doing. We are seeing the double taxation that used to be have actually reduced. Just like even personally me, the one of the office I run some years ago, more than around 8 years or 50 years ago. At the time, I had to even shut it down because of double taxation. So they are an average person in Aba or in Abia State, as the case may be, have actually been faced with so much issues. So that is it. So for many average people, as I said previously, that what we are really interested in may not really be the transparency part of the government. Yes, it's very important, but an average person in at the stage who have suffered so much from the previous and the past government negligence, the pure negligence, which some people may also tag as the complete wickedness on the side of the previous government, where people are classified as core civil servants, not core civil servants. Where core civil servants were paid, not core civil servants we are not core civil not people that are not classified as not core civil servants, they were not paid in the name that they are supposed to find a way generate income by themselves and pay themselves, even in a state institution that the governor of the state appoints who actually administer the same school, even in a place in a institution where the governor of the state also recommend employment in the same institutions, and the school administrator will have no option than to employ them. It's something that happens in every government institution. But at the end of the day, when it comes to salary, government will tell you that it is not a responsibility to pay your salary. So what I'm trying to say in essence, for what the PDP secretary or whatever may publicity secretary may be saying, there may be facts there. There may be fact there, and there is also need for us as individuals to checkmate and ask the government how really are they spending our money. How really are they really? We should be able to hold our government accountable on what they actually do. Just as I said, why it's as if especially people in Hadia, why it seems nobody is actually asking questions apart from the learned, apart from the politicians. They are the one because they are there before, so they know how all these funds, they know how all these expenses, they know how government write figures and do all these things. So for them, being able to cover most of these things, being able to do these things is already something that they're already aware of. I don't know if you understand my point. So, but the average person in the street What he need is basic social amenity, road being constructed, stable electricity. What they actually need is security. What they actually need, especially civil servants, is to ensure that their salaries are being paid. But the business person in Aba, just like as I am, what we are really interested so much is to ensure that there won't be double taxation, there won't be intimidation, and those are the basic social amenities. Those are the basic things, good healthcare too, good hospital. Those are the few basic things that an average person, access to loan, support, financial support from the government too. Those are the basic things that people really are really asking. And the funny and interesting thing is that gradually, the government led by Governor Otti is actually satisfying the need of an average Abaman. It's gradually satisfying the need of Abias. It's gradually satisfying the need of the Abia people. And that is one of the most important. That is why people will always say that the governor will always have support from the people from Abia State. Will always have support from the citizens, from the core citizens. if there's any language like core and not core, they will always have support from the people in the street. Why? Because he is actually giving them what they want. But the question that the other side of people, or the other side, I'm talking about the politicians, the learned people, people who actually can go to the website, who can go to the federal ministry website to check the allocation of the state government giving. People who can go to the website of other states and other sites to check the expenditure, how much the government spent in entertainment, in recreation, in traveling, and all the rest of them. Those are another different class of people. And but one thing people generally are demanding is transparency. Whether it is 7 billion naira renovation of school, the government should write 7 billion naira. People, it will not change the law and people in Adia have for him. If he spend 50 billion, if he or he claim or allege spend 57 billion, let him write that 57 billion in that renovation of school. If it's one school, let him say he spend he use 57 billion naira to renovate school. We will know. We will go there, look at the school, assess the school, do our own talking. But at the end of the day, what people really want is to ensure that if we have schools, we don't want to hear that those schools are on strike. As I said in my previous video, to me personally, it does not make sense that we try to emulate people like in Enugu or people in Meduguri, where they use a 5-story building to build their secondary school and call it smart school. If what the governor is doing for us is 6 classroom block, 7 classroom block, and the governor can be able to build about 700 or 1,000 classroom blocks, I'm talking about 500. I'm talking about 6 classroom block or 7 classroom block, as the case may be, per school, and was able to build in 700 different schools. I think it will be a good win. It will be a win-win for the state, because if you go to schools like there are a lot of schools. There are a lot of schools. There are actually a lot of schools. There is even a school in Aba, in the town, in the city, in Aba, that cannot see, that does not have a whiteboard. That does not have even a roof on it, that does not even have a ceiling. There are schools in Aba. I'm talking about in the city. Does not have a ceiling. Have no ceiling, have no door, have no window. There are schools like that. There are schools in Aba today that the floor is even like it's just like where pigs are let's say real or trained. There are schools in Aba that even if you take a pig, he will not want to stay there. But there are schools like that. So what we really want, ideally, we want the government to do, because if you look at categorically, you will still realize that most of those schools, the government is just like about 2 years, and if not getting to 3 years soon, but 2 years and. But most of those schools have been there for the past 25 years. Like when I went to this Umon Chokoro school. That Umon Chokoro school was renovated last during by one of the federal agencies. Was renovated last during Otti Zokalo's administration. That was the last time it was renovated. That was the last time it was renovated. As of that time, I think I should still be in high institution, or I should still be in school. That was the last time. So what people are really asking is, do not just use the 30 billion naira and build and erect one structure for us. we have been backward in terms of infrastructural development. Spread those schools to different areas, which is what the government is doing. And then in terms of transparency area, it's not a challenge, but it is a core that the government should try and be what? Transparent. If they are using 30 billion naira for wine and drink, they don't write 30 billion naira for wine and drink. People will know that as a governor, they need to do what? Drink alcohol. They need to see drink, they need to see do parties. Do you understand? Let it be something that is clear, and so that even if there is need to discuss or argue, as the case may be, there won't be, it should not be a situation whereby maybe the chief press secretary can go to radio and say they spent 37 billion naira on the renovation of school, then they are paid up front. And a lot of people will come and say, no, they have spent 21 billion. Another person will release president and say they have spent 7 billion. Another person will say they have spent 4 billion. It will now be as if they are contradicting themselves. Why? Because the figures, I don't know. I don't just know how the figures is as if it's a manufacturer. I don't just know. I cannot even categorically tell how those figures were being calculated. But the case, as the case may be, many people in Abia, as of today, I'm talking about the average people, I'm talking about the people that have the voting strength, people that have the voting capacity, they are still happy, even if they hear that the governor spent 30 billion naira for food and drink, they are still what? Happy with the governor. You know why? The reason is because the state have been backward for over 25 to 30 years. It's as if this is the first time we are seeing a governor. So you can see innovation of schools. Ordinary primary health care center is what the government is doing. Primary health, not that they are building general hospital. Just like Imo State, the Imo State governor said he did not say, there are videos, there are evidence that say he has built general hospital, general, complete, like structures, general hospitals in 3 different areas. But what this government is doing is what we call primary health. 6 block, 7 block, one flat primary health, and which is the most important thing people need, because you cannot be building general hospital when the people in the primary areas, the local areas, they don't have a basic health. They are not assured of their basic health. That is just what I can say for now. I don't want to make this video to be so long for now. Please, I want you to comment, and let's get your reaction on what you think about what the PDP public secretary is talking about regarding to the billions of naira allocated for schools, which if you go on site, you may see few or none. You may actually see few in terms of structures that are standing, and the money may not really reflect the amount of what people expect to see based on the amount of money allocated to that. But whatever the case may be, just like one of my fans commented and said, if the governor spent 21 billion or 20 something billion, as the case may be, when he budgeted 50 billion, it means he have not really done so well in terms of what he budgeted versus what he actually achieved or done. That is the much we are giving for now. Drop a comment and let us know, what do you really think about the trend? This is actually still trending in Abia State, and it have not really stopped. People are still talking about it, still trending even to today. There are a lot of videos. Just drop a comment. I don't want to say so much. Let us discuss at the comment section. My name is Maka Senior. Thank you.